How's it, guys? I've had a few questions about the electrics in the boards and how we establish that all is running properly and that the parameters set up properly. Each board, every single Bro RC bodyboarder, before it's shipped, is assembled and the electrics is all checked. You'll see here with our pistol grip radio, we set the steering and the throttle switches so that they're in the right place, and you'll always know that by just correlating those little white dots there that we use a bit of Tipex to mark. So always make sure that those two switches are correlating with the dots. On board, let me just plug this in quickly. So here I'm using a 3-cell battery, 1, 2, 3 beep. That 1, 2, 3 means that the auto detect is on. It's picking up that it's a 3-cell battery. It would have 4 beeps if it was 4-cell, or 2 beeps if it was 2-cell. And the long beep means that the LVC is on. And what the LVC is it's a low voltage safety cutout that's built into the ESC. It'll either cut your board down to low voltage, in other words, slow your board down if you're overheating for some reason, if your water cooling is blocked, or it'll indicate to you that when your LiPo battery is down to 3.2 volts per cell, that you need to bring it in and change out the battery. On the setup mode over here, you'll see on your running mode you have either forward only or forward and reverse. Clearly we only want forward only, so we set that up. We leave the LiPo cells to auto calculate, so you can just pop in any battery. I always run the LiPo cell to 3.2 cells, 3.2 volts per cell, which is the default setting. And then on the timing here, I bring the timing right down to 0 degrees. We don't need as much speed in the water as we want runtime and torque, so that's also a great setting to have, and I found it works well. But a very easy ESC to establish if ever you have to. Another setting we ensure is that when your board is out of bind, in other words, you might lose contact with your board behind a wave or an obstacle, and let's just say that you're out of bound, I'm going to switch this radio off. You'll see a little red light when your receiver is flashing. Sometimes if you don't set this up, there's a little button on your receiver here you should just actuate for a few seconds. If you don't set it up properly and you switch your board off, or you lose your bind, your motor can continue running and your board could run away from you. So always make sure, as we make sure, that we set up that so that when your radio is off, your board motor is not running, and you'll see simply when I switch the radio back on, boom, it binds immediately, and then you have contact with the receiver. So just to check the motor function, check the rotations going anti-clockwise. If ever you guys change out your motor and it's not going anti-clockwise but going clockwise, just switch out one of these 3 wires over here and that'll change the direction. We'll check our steering servo. It's an all-metal gear servo. We also check that when you actuate your steering in the right direction. And then we wrap and pack the receiver into a balloon and install that. As I've shared in previous videos, always put an elastic band around your receiver. This holds your plugs in place. You don't want them coming loose or bouncing out. And then I also put a piece of self-adhesing neoprene, just 3mm, around the wires and the antenna coming out of the receiver, so that when we put the balloon around it and we put an elastic band on here, we get a real good seal. The other purpose that this little neoprene serves is that it stops your antenna wire from being pulled out of your receiver. Often this wire can get pulled right out of the receiver, but this bound around here keeps it secure. And there we have the receiver wrapped up in a balloon, and then you can see over here where the rubber band is wrapped around that piece of neoprene. It's well sealed there at the entrance. Okay, a little potty trick to pull the antenna through the hole over there. You'll see I'm just using a thin solder wire. You can use thin copper wire, whatever. Okay, you'll notice the end of the antenna here, the 2.4 gig antenna has got a little hollow. Just bend that little hollow tube over, and then we're going to put a antenna cap on that. That's our antenna installed. And then just one more final check. Happy days. Another Bro RC bodyboarder ready to go.